Hi, my name is John Williams and I'm Consultant Nutritionist for the British Irish Lions for the 2013 and the 2017 tour to New Zealand. For the recent tour, my company, which I formed with Darren Campbell back in 2006, was appointed official supplier. Very proud moment for us, and we'd like to share with you some of the products that we use with the players to help fuel the Lions. In all, we sent about 12 pallets of actually sports nutrition products out, and then a further 17 pallets of isotonics, electrolyte drinks, amino acid drinks, plus water. So it was a huge operation, something which was hugely successful from our part, but obviously hugely successful from the tour as well. So we're here today with Canterbury's to really give you a little insight into what went on in fueling the Lions. So I'm going to start off in terms of some daily essentials, products that we had the players to take on a daily basis. The first product, which was key, was the defence formulation. Now, bearing in mind, the players were going into winter months in New Zealand, there was a lack of sunlight. Keeping players healthy with 2 games per week, intense games, lots of travelling was a key factor. So the vitamin D at 4,000 IUs a day was really essential, not only for immune function, testosterone function, bone support, overall wellness. In addition, the defence formula has a high dose of probiotics to support gut health. Again, very important when travelling. We always start these with players well before they travel, so they would have started that from the moment the squad was announced. So, on, as we call it, Messy Monday day, where all the players gathered, I was up in London, and we give each player a little support pack with the defence, with the beta-alanine, to start using for 4 weeks out from travel. And that's a key factor for any teams travelling. Don't start thinking about items to do on travel day. You must start before to support your immune system. So you've got your vitamin D, you've got your probiotics, plus all your antioxidants, all your B vitamins. Also vitamin K works synergistically with vitamin D for bone health. So an all-round great product. Here now in the UK, we're going into our winter months. I recommend, I use it with all my players, with Wales, with the regions. They will be using that from October right through to March. So defence is a must-be essential on a daily basis. In addition then, for joint lubrication, omega-3, high dose omega-3, big product to use again. 2 capsules at breakfast, 2 capsules in the evening, also helps with body composition a little bit. This is a product which players really believe in. We find that players always use these 2 products. This one, maybe not so much, which we'll come to in a moment, but these 2 always get a good buy-in, because players want to be healthy, they don't want to have aching joints, they don't want to get ill, they don't want to miss key training sessions and games. So these products on a daily basis are part of your daily essential pack. Now, like I said, we met up with players a month out and we advised them to start their beta-alanine use. Beta-alanine delays lactic acid buildup. It allows training at a higher intensity. A key focus for the Lions was to be able to play at a higher intensity to obviously cope with the demands against playing against the All Blacks. Now, with beta-alanine, it takes 6 weeks to actually load up, then increases muscle carnosine levels and is your body's main buffering agent. So, when you take this, you get little tingles throughout your body for maybe about 2 hours. Those tingles will subside and go away. If you take the product on a daily basis for a week, you should not get any more tingles. And if you take a product with food, that tends to reduce the tingling as well. But it takes time to build up. Like I said, 6 weeks to really start to get that buffering capacity. Then you get that improvement in aerobic and anaerobic capacity and maybe an increase in power output. So Beta Power is a real good product for players in pre-season. So again, back here, we'd have started this product in pre-season, but you need to start it early enough. Then the players would have taken this product on tour, maintained its use right throughout. You will get 1 or 2 people who really don't react well to the tingling, but apart from that, this should be a must-use product for rugby players. So those are your daily essentials. Then there's one more product, and this product I didn't envisage it to be used as much as it was in tour. This is a product I designed a good few years ago now actually, and it's designed to improve or modulate testosterone output and actually reduce cortisol levels. So it's trying to keep your anabolic environment as efficient as possible. Now sometimes on a really hectic tour with lots of games, lots of travelling, there can be a negative impact on your testosterone cortisol ratio. So we designed this product to actually help on that basis, and probably out of all the products, this was the biggest used product. So the players responded really well to this, found it worked very well in terms of helping their recovery, helping keep their strength and power output. So the AGF is a must-use product if you're looking to help recovery or actually increase lean muscle strength. I'm not going to go into full details of how it works, but the idea is you can slightly increase maybe your own testosterone output or actually maintain it, because sometimes during a tour, lots of games, your testosterone output actually drops off. So the idea is it helps keep testosterone up, it helps improve the androgen receptor availability, it helps reduce cortisol, which is a catabolic hormone. So overall you've got a more efficient environment. So that's the AGF1. So that's your capsules. So one more product I want to talk about, which we specifically designed really for tour. And this was bearing in mind the amount of games, the amount of travelling, and the winter months was something we really needed, something to give players if they get ill, to actually get them back on track. So we did some research on any herbal products, things like echinacea, elderberry, and there's also something called beta-glucans, which comes from oat. And each of those ingredients has got some really good research in terms of boosting immunity. So we designed this product specifically for the tour. It's a new product for us. We've never done anything like this before, but we felt there was a demand for it. I've wanted something like this in pro sport for the last 10 years, because quite often if a player gets ill, he's going to ask you, what can I take? So we needed a product to get players around. And we found giving this to players immediately on travel day and for 5 days landing actually helped prevent anybody coming down with any colds, sore throats or colds following long haul flights. So that's something you could look at in your protocols with your teams, maybe using the immune support factor to actually help on travel days and travel landing. Then he was available if anybody started to feel ill coming down, any sort of sore throats, any sniffles. They were blasted in just 3 capsules a day for up to 5 days to try and boost the immune system to actually make them ready for the game. And that had good effect as well. So that was a new product which we launched, and it's something that I'll be using with all the teams this year. So let's go on to training in terms of what players were taking. So during weight sessions, players were taking an amino acid and electrolyte formula. So the idea is this is a rapidly formed, broken down form of protein which can be absorbed during weight training sessions. It's very light, it's a fruit punch flavour, just mixes in water, it's got the electrolytes, it's got the amino acids. Players were drinking that during weight sessions. What we also did then, post games, as a sort of first stage of recovery, and you would have seen the shakers coming on after games, we mixed 1 serving of that with the isotonic and actually put that in the shaker. So you've got your carbohydrates, you've got some electrolytes in there, then you've got additional amino acids and electrolytes as your first stage of recovery. Personally, I believe protein shakes, whether it's strawberry or chocolate, as soon as you're coming off the pitch, is a little bit too heavy, a little bit milky. I think a fruit-based, more squash type drink is a lot more refreshing, goes down a lot easier, but also it will actually be absorbed quicker. So your traditional whey proteins, such as this, will take about 40 minutes to absorb and get into your muscles. This, with a much lower osmolality, will actually absorb much quicker. So that was our first stage of recovery. So that's what the players were seen drinking in the shakers, on the bench or on the field. When they came off, then they had a whey protein shake. And that's just purely 30 grams of whey protein mixed in water, very quick and fast absorbing. But that's a second stage of recovery. First stage, second stage recovery. Now, after training, what we did was a little bit different. I'll show you. So, post-weight training, players traditionally you'd have a protein shake or a protein carb shake. if players are bulking, trying to gain weight or maintain weight. What I found over the last few years is there's a lot of players who don't like to have carbs in this shape. For some reason, players think carbs are the enemy, which is totally false. After training, those carbs will only be used to refuel muscle glycogen. But in fairness, most of our players are having a shake and sitting down eating within 20-30 minutes. So the need for carbs isn't huge. And I think it's a little bit unnecessary for players to worry about carbs. But what we were finding is, we would do a protein-only shake or a protein-carb creatine shake. But because the mix had carbs in it, players were actually avoiding this and therefore not getting the creatine. So what we did for the Lions, we did a blend where we just had protein, colostrum, and then also creatine. So we actually made these up in these single serve bottles specifically for the Lions, protein, creatine and colostrum, so it's a much more functional shake. So obviously creatine is well researched and well known to be able to improve explosive power, help with repeated speed ability, to actually increase lean muscle mass. It's a great all-round supplement, and we get that used on a daily basis. Just going off tangent, but one big belief I've got on creatine is there's no reason to load and then come off and load back on. If you're going to use it, start in pre-season, take it all the way through the season, you keep those gains. Coming on and off doesn't do anything. When you come off, you lose muscle, you lose explosive speed, strength, and at any point in the season, you don't want those negative consequences. So stay on it, just a low dose, 5 grams every day. So this was a post-weight recovery shake with everything in, and then usually after the game, they would have just protein or they would have that mix as well, depending on their preference. So, recovery from games was aminos with isotonic, then it would be a recovery shake with the protein, creatine and colostrum in, and then obviously then we had protein bars in the dressing room as well. So by the time they've done all that, they can get about 60 grams of protein within the first hour, which is important because what tends to happen on game day is players cut down on protein intake to focus on carbs, especially for the game. Now that's fine, but we also need protein for soft tissue repair due to all the contact. We need to maintain muscle, so making sure we get the protein in post-game in an easy and efficient way was a key factor. Obviously then, what we would do, we'd have a range of protein snacks. We would have probably anything ranging from healthy chicken goujons, fish goujons. We would have wraps. We may even have things like chicken hot dog sausages, all in the dressing room. And then they would have a good balanced carbohydrate protein meal within 2 hours as well. So we keep the refueling process going. So the recovery was a big factor. Where possible then, when they come back to the hotels, we'd actually make up a blueberry sort of cherry smoothie, which would have whey protein, colostrum, it would have some concentrated cherry juice, it would also have some fresh or frozen fruit, and then we'd usually mix that in a milk or like a coconut milk so it's easier to absorb it. So what you're trying to do is multifaceted recovery options. So let's work our way through things. So we've talked about the isotonic. This is what you would have seen in the bottles during games. So this is just basically our isotonic drink. It's a carbohydrate electrolyte drink. It's very light, it's very easy to drink. You either have a bottle with just this in it or with a different top with just water in it. Alright, and that's based on the player's preference. Also, we shipped out about 6 pallets of the new Pro Zero cola flavour, which has got 3 grams of branched chain. So the idea is this was widely available just in the hotel fridges for all bus trips. So players are taking in amino acids, electrolytes, no sugar to supplement, to keep muscle on right throughout the day. Personally, I'm a big believer, isotonic drinks such as this, you only need those during really hard training sessions or during games. There's no reason to walk around drinking sugary drinks, isotonic drinks at any time. You're much better off with just plain water, or if anything you want something more of a functional sports drink, something like this, which is an amino acid electrolyte drink. But again, no sugar, okay? So that was a big popular product during tour. So, what else did we do? Bear in mind, like we said, lots of travel, lots of different hotels. Sleep was another area we were asked to focus on. So luckily, about 2 years ago, we designed a product called Nighttime Recharge. Actually designed this for Wales to use prior to the last World Cup, especially when they were actually training away at altitude, because sleep at altitude is not great. So we put together a sleep formula which is very effective. Doesn't taste the best, I'll be honest with you, but as your mother often told you, if it tastes bad, it must work well. Alright? We have tweaked it since the first batch came out and the taste is a lot better. But it's a complicated formula in some ways, because you've got natural amino acids which help to improve sleep. Then you've got amino acids in there to support muscle tissue. But it does work very well. It does work very well. If you're going to try this, don't try it on a work day in case you sleep in and you get in trouble at work. Try it on a weekend. With teams, we tend to recommend they would use this, let's say on a Tuesday night. So if you're off Wednesday, you've got no training, you can get real deep sleep and good recovery. And then maybe the night before a game and the night after a game. So if you don't sleep well the night before a game, use this to switch off, go into a deep sleep. And obviously the night of the game, if you're game readied up, if you're caffeined up, you need something to come down, wind down, this will help you go into a deep state of sleep, okay? This has also got cherry active powder in it, so it will help reduce muscle soreness and help recovery. So it's an all-round great product, okay? So that's a nighttime recharge, and again, this was a big use product. Because there's so many different hotels, different beds, travelling, this was important for the players to get their sleep and recovery. So, in terms of what players use before games, just going back, sorry if I'm jumping in and out between different days, I'm just trying to remember everything that we actually supplied and utilised with them. Game ready is our sort of, let's call it a berserker drink. So you've got your caffeine in there, you've got your branched chain amino acids, you've also got something called alpha GPC, and we're the only company without a doubt to actually include alpha GPC in our pre-game or pre-training products. Now alpha GPC improves explosive power. It's a very expensive ingredient, and that's the reason why Game Ready is probably the best on the market, but it improves explosive power. So if you take this 6 days in a row, you'll get an improvement in explosive power at the end of those 6 days. So players are actually using this for training as well as games. Okay? So Game Ready, it's got a beta-alanine in it, so you will tingle, it will wake you up, okay? But it does work very well. And we've used this with all my teams since we brought it out really, for training and games. But Game Ready was the one product the players were using before games. Obviously, gels as well, we do 2 options. There's the lemon and lime, which is just a pure energy gel, no caffeine, and then the berry, which has got 100 milligrams of caffeine. We also put a little bit of ATP in the gels. ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate. It's an instant source of energy. It's very, very brief. Creatine is actually broken down to ATP. So the idea is when you're actually in a game situation, the ATP can give you an additional energy boost. Another game day protocol was sodium citrate. This was only used for the tests with the All Blacks. So this is a final lactic acid buffer. So the players would have been using beta power on a daily basis to allow them to train at a higher intensity. However, when you come to game day, I like to give an additional lactic acid buffer, because with the All Blacks, everything will go up a level. So sodium citrate is a 3-day protocol where you increase your sodium citrate levels. That converts to sodium bicarb in the body, and that buffers lactic acid buildup and hopefully will prevent cramp. I prefer this to sodium bicarb because you don't get the gut issues with it. Okay? So it works in a similar sort of way, but without the gut issues. So if you are a cramper, if you do suffer, maybe try the sodium citrate before your games. Obviously we send out tons and tons of protein. So the MGF is our protein blend. So it's a 6 protein blend of whey protein, of casein, of egg whites, of branched chains, and the idea is it gives a slightly slower release compared to the standard whey protein. So this was available for players to use at night time more than anything else. When you mix it up, it's a little bit of a thicker shake as well. And then if players did need additional protein between meals, for example, they would just use the whey protein. But like I said, everything was done for them, ready, worked out in the shake and take bottles. And the only other product I think they really used a lot of was the electrolytes. That was always available on tables before training. Some players find they need additional electrolytes. You find if they just drink a lot of plain water, they tend to pass a lot of it out. So usually the electrolytes and the sodium content, you'll hold a little bit back in. So I think that's the majority of products that we've used. The feedback's been really great. I spoke to a lot of players since they've come back, not just from Wales, but from other countries who found the supplementation protocol and the products really good. So what we thought we'd like to do in conjunction with Canterbury is offer a 50% code. So all of Canterbury's followers and fans and users can have access to our products at that 50% discount. So at the end of this video there'll be a discount code which is Canterbury50, which you can use on our website so you too can fuel like the Lions. Thank you.